Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to the show. My name is DDare Bionic, if you did not know, and I am black with another video. All right, friends, I am back with a brand new television show review. If you didn't know, I am reviewing every episode of The Last of Us as they come out. The episode came out on Sunday. It is currently Thursday when I am filming and probably uploading this video in a rush to get this as my first video out. First video out on a Thursday, girl. I am excited to sit down and talk about The Last of Us because they are continuing to give us the goods. If you have not watched my very first review, first of all, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell and so you get a notification every single time I post a video. I post twice a week, even if it's Thursday and Friday or Thursday and Saturday, baby. You will get 2 videos a week for sure. And also comment down below what else you want me to review while I am currently watching The Last of Us. And comment your opinion on the show down below because from what I have heard from the internet, and everybody that is watching and in my friend circle who is watching, it is stellar. And if you haven't watched my first review, click the title card above. And let's just jump right into the review of this week's episode because, baby, it was juicy. Okay, so just like last week, there are some spoilers. One thing I want to take a minute to talk about is what they're doing with the show and how they're making it different from the game and how that is such a good thing. So every episode kind of, there's only been 2, but both episodes have started with this like vignette of things that are happening in the past. So prior to or during the time of, the first few infections of this mycelium infection. The things that they are adding are the 2 scenes that they added. So in the first episode, they added a talk between 2 scientists on a late night talk show. And then, which was far prior, like in the 1960s, I believe. And then this episode, they started with Jakarta, Indonesia, and a doctor, a mycologist who examines one of the first cases of this woman who was, infected. And she's like, y'all gotta bomb them. Ain't no way to stop this. Y'all gotta bomb everybody right now, which was like weighty. Like it felt weighty. And it was such a good addition because in the game, you don't really see much of what happens outside of the world that you're in, which is perfectly fine for a video game. Like I've said many, many times, it is one of my favorite games. It's probably in my top 10 favorite games of all time. But it's so beautiful with this series for them to take this concept of fungal infection and what they're doing with it. And I'll get into it in just a couple seconds. What they are doing with this fungal infection, with this zombification of humans through fungus, through mycelium, through it just is such a cool and interesting concept that the show so far, 10 out of 10. These 2 episodes, 10 out of 10. I can't speak any more highly. Actually, I can, and I will continue to speak highly of this episode. So let's jump into what happens after this first 10. So we get the little vignette at the beginning of the episode and then the credits play. I hope they keep doing that. I hope they keep giving us little glimpses as to the downfall of the world. So things that are kind of different, and I'm gonna do this the way I did the last episode. I'm not gonna necessarily talk about everything that happens in the episode. I'm mostly gonna focus on the differences between the game and the show. So let's jump into these differences, which I have yet to find one I don't like. Okay, so in the game, we pick up in the episode right after they have discovered that Ellie has been bitten, and apparently she had been bitten 3 weeks prior and has not turned into a zombie, has not become infected, and her scar is healing. And that's when we find out that Ellie is immune, and that's why they're kind of transporting her to this other facility because they're trying to figure out how her immunity can help heal the rest of the world. Joel is totally not convinced. He's like, the second you start twitching, I'm shooting you in the head and all this other stuff. They get to the first location, and here is where we see some of the differences. So they plan to go, there's two different ways they can go. They can go the long way, which takes longer but has less runners, or they can take the short way, which is a lot more dangerous, and they end up having to take the short way. So they go to the long way or the dangerous way, he said. So they take the long way initially. They come to this hotel. It's all kind of dilapidated, obviously. And this is kind of what happens in the game too. You go to this hotel, and it is different because of how you see the clickers for the first time. You don't see the clickers for the first time in the actual hotel. And I think they kind of rearranged that little bit. This is honestly making me want to play the game and like play up until where they stop in the episode and then pick it back up and play along with it. Comment down below if y'all want to see me kind of like replay the game as the series goes on, because that sounds like a fun idea. We see Ellie or Tess climbs through. She opens the doors. All this stuff happens. And they're like, where do we go from here? They go out and you see all of these runners kind of like laying about just on the ground, twitching and writhing. And this is where we find out this is one of the major differences from the game to the show. And I think it is an improvement on the game. And if they were to make a Last of Us Part 3, which I believe they are or did, I don't really remember, but I know there's at least 2 parts. But if they were to make another Last of Us, it would be really interesting for them to explore the idea of it's a fungus. Sometimes, oftentimes a fungus can be the most widespread, largest organism in a forest. And this is kind of more explained in depth at the end of the episode, which I absolutely love. And I love seeing these end of episode like explanations. But they explain that all of them are connected because all funguses are connected. Like in one location, you have all of these. One could be thousands of miles away. You step on or kill one here, and that one that's 1,000 miles away knows where you are, and now it's coming toward you. I love that idea. I love that concept that they kind of all move as one. You see the sunlight roll across, and they all like, ugh. It is such a cool idea, such a cool concept, and I'm so glad that they did that. We move on from that. They're like, well, we clearly can't go through there because there were literally hundreds of runners. They go the dangerous way. So they go to this history museum, and if you've played the game, you already know what's about to happen. They go up, and I saw it, and I immediately was like, oh God. Oh God. And my partner who hasn't played the game was like, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? And I was like, clickers, the fucking clickers, here they come. So they go in and they find, and this is another part where like some stuff from the game got kind of switched around and made better. They find this fresh dead body that's like ravaged. In the game, they find it in the hotel. In the series, they find it in the museum, which is one of the hardest missions to me. Like, once you're still kind of getting your bearings with the game at that point, and good God Almighty, that was a really difficult fight for me. But they find this freshly mutilated corpse in the museum in the series, like I said, and Joel and Tess immediately are like, wait a damn minute. Like, they see that this is not... This ain't just a regular runner bite. This is not just a regular zombie. It also, backtracking a little bit, while they're heading to, I think it was the hotel location, Ellie is kind of hinting at things you'll see later in the season. So if you haven't played the game, you're like, well, obviously these things are going to happen. But if you have played the game, Ellie talks about, ones that bloat and explode and spread spores everywhere. And Tess goes, well, God, I hope not. And then she talks about ones whose heads are split open and they can't see, and they hunt you by sound, like sound based. And Joel and Tess just look at each other and say nothing, which is like, okay, so these two haven't been far enough out to have encountered a bloater, which is what they're called. I think they're called bloaters, if I remember correctly, but they have encountered clickers. And then we fast forward back to the scene where I was just talking about, where Joel and Tess are like, from this moment on, silent. Not quiet, silent. Because these clickers react to the any tiny, teeny little sound. So they're going up the stairs, they're moving slow, they're super quiet, they're silent. And in the game, I don't remember how the museum scene necessarily played out in the game, but this is another point where once they get up to the top, like it all, some stuff caves in, like you can hear the building shifting, some stuff caves in, and they are being quiet, but you hear that, and it reminded me, oh, my skin is tingling right now. It reminded me so much of when I first heard a clicker in the game. And fun fact, they have the people who voiced the clickers in the games doing the voices in the show. So they're doing so many things right with this. They're doing so many things right with this series. It is absolutely magnificent. And yet another thing that they're doing right, it would be very easy, and I'm sure there will be at some point, it would be very easy to CGI these things, to not use practical effects. But a lot of the what do you call it? The like fungus that's growing of like the dead runners that grows out of a lot of that stuff is real. Like it is practical effects. And the clickers are made with using actual prosthetics. There are actual actors there doing these movements physically. Like it just adds a whole new layer. And the prosthetics are gorgeous. I have to look and see who is doing. Hold on one second. Travis I'm gonna say this wrong. Shootchuck. Shout out to you, Travis. So hair makeup, key prosthetics, Pat Ford, Abigail Harcourt Smith, Barry Gower. Shout out to the team, all the people whose names I've mentioned. Every person involved in the visual effects on this game or on this series, wow, absolutely breathtaking. They look CGI. They are so beautiful. The colors are so rich. The textures are so incredible. Like they look like they are CGI, but they are in fact practical effects. And that just, I really hope that there's a trend of things going back to practical effects because everything just looks better. The CGI has gotten so real that it looks fake nowadays. And the practical effects just really, So we see the clicker, they fight the clickers. This is all very stressful. They do a great job of building the suspense. They do a great job of the actors portraying the clickers. I just want to very quickly, Philip Kovacs. His name has a credit of male clicker. Male clicker. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Olivier, probably Ross Parent is what that looks like. Samuel Hoaxama. The body movements are so on point to the game. The mannerisms, the sound that the clickers make, you just heard it. If that didn't send a chill down your spine, you must be dead. Cause just thinking about it, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Anyway, so they fight these clickers off, they kill them. Clickers will play a very important role in the rest of the series. Get ready for it. So we fast forward, Tess is injured. She's rushing to get to this location. And also, let me remind you, the museum scene is like shot for shot for the game. And then this next scene is shot for shot from the game, but they change it which I didn't realize until the end, because again, it's been a very long time since I played the game. But originally, it was the military that was coming for them. But in this case, with this new connection of all the zombies, all the runners, all of them being connected because of, fungus, we find out that Tess has been bitten. All the people that they were trying to drop Ellie off to have been killed by clickers or by someone or by each other. I think one of them got bitten, infected, and they killed everybody else. One guy is still alive. Joel shoots him and sees the little mycelium, the fungus kind of wrapping around the fingers of this now dead runner, and all of the other runners that were laying around writhing are like, whoop, there's somebody over there, because they're all connected. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so good. So they all run to the hotel, or to this, I think it's a hotel, but I can't really remember. It looks like it's just a giant building, and it looks exactly like the video game. Like, it is incredible how accurate this all looks to the game. They run in. Tess sacrifices herself, which she also does in the game. She blows them all up, and then we end the episode with Joel and Ellie getting away. And I knew that Tess would be dead by the end of the episode. I could tell by the way I could tell by the way the episode was going that that's where they were going to end it. And I was hoping that that's where they were going to end it, because to have carried Tess over to a third episode would have stretched out that first part of the game a little too long. And I personally feel like they are giving 110% of what they should be doing. Every episode so far, again, there's only been 2, but they have both been so on point, interesting, thrilling, terrifying, absolutely terrifying with the clickers. And I just can't wait to see what else they have coming. I can't wait to see what else they have in store for the rest of the series. And hopefully they make part 2 into a series too. That'd be great. If y'all are casting, listen, I make a good zombie. I'm just saying, tag Naughty Dog down below. Send this video out to Naughty Dog and tell them I make a good zombie if they want to fly me out. I'll fly myself out. Y'all ain't even got to fly me. Just house me and feed me and I'm good. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. I'm still with it. I'm still happy and excited, and I can't wait to see what else happens. Yeah, it's so good, y'all. They're doing such a great job. It's so refreshing to see media do something right for once. Oh, I'm so glad. And there have been, I'm not in the team of, every adaptation of a video game has been bad, because there are a lot of really good ones. There's a lot of good movie adaptations of video games, but this one honestly is by far the best. Again, only 2 episodes in, but if this is what they're doing, and they're working with the creators of the video game, so it's only going to get better from here. Yeah, but that's all I got. Comment down below what you thought of this episode. Comment down below if the clickers terrify you as much as they terrify me. That is all I have for this video. Thank you all for stopping by and watching my review of The Last of Us Episode 2. I will be back next week with The Last of Us Episode 3. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get a notification every single time I post a video. I post twice a week. So make sure those notifications are on, and you'll know when I am talking about the TV shows or when Mental Health Chat Monday finally premieres, all that good stuff. I talk about Mental Health Chat Monday in every single video because I am so excited for the series. It's going to be so good. So thank you all. If you want to support me, all of my links are down below in the description box at the link tree. You can shop Lunartize's hair color, get a little bit of coin off, and support a growing, flourishing, and thriving artist, honey. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.